So now we're up to actually recognizing some notes receivable. This is how do we enter notes receivable on our company books. So there's basically three different ways notes get on our books. We could go notes receivable, and we could lend out cash to somebody. Okay, so we could go, we'd have a debit to cash for 10,000, a debit to notes receivable for 10,000 and a credit to cash. So we have the asset notes receivable, we lend out some cash. The other way we could get on, notes receivable on our books is we could end up with a notes receivable, and it could be in settlement of an accounts receivable. Maybe we had a customer whose accounts receivables were past due, and they were past due enough so we insisted that they sign a note. That's not a very good R, accounts receivable. So we insisted that they sign a note receivable for what they owed us, because it's a more enforceable instrument of credit. And so we would take the account receivable they owed us off the books, and we would in turn make them enter into a formal note receivable, note with, they would make us, we would have a promissory note from them. Okay, the third way we can end up with a notes receivable on our books. We have a notes receivable, and we can do it as a result of a sales transaction. So we could have sales revenue of 10,000. Okay, so sales revenue, maybe we sell large ticket items. A lot of, if you happen to buy a lot of boats, this would be something where if you're buying a yacht or a big sailboat, or with my tractor loader backhoe for my construction company, they didn't say, oh yeah, take the big tractor and we'll send you a bill for 30,000 in a month. No, they said, no, you sign this note with us. So I had to sign a promissory note to Kubota Credit before they would let me walk off with a tractor. So large ticket items, a lot of times this is their normal way of doing business, is to operate only with notes receivable with their customers. Heavy equipment, boats, things like that. Notes receivable are recorded at their face value. In other words, no interest is taken into consideration. It's simply the face value of the note. The interest revenue is going to be recorded as a separate account. And the interest is recorded over time. It's recorded as time passes, as it's earned. Okay, so you have sort of three different scenarios that notes can come on the books, and that takes care of Learning Objective 6. Learning Objective 7 is even better. This is valuing notes receivable, and they are basically valued the same way as we do accounts receivable. In other words, you would be showing notes receivable on the books, and then that would be, usually less some allowance for doubtful accounts. That's what we mean when we're valuing. So notes receivable as accounts receivable are shown on the books at their net realizable value. Okay? And the good news there is we really don't do any homework or exercises on that, because we already did it for accounts receivable. So the next item that we'll get to will be how to dispose of our notes now that we have recognized them and valued them.